So this is a little tutorial on how to play with time on Premiere. These are clips I got from the Adobe Premiere Tutorials website. This is from Adobe themselves. There's all kinds of tutorials here to help you learn their program. And these were the tutorial files that came with them. So I have permission to use them for educational purposes since we're very concerned about copyright. So anyway, what we're going to do here first is let's just watch a little bit of this. So this is raw footage from an action show. All right, this guy just stole that bag. Okay, now we want to get that cut out of there so that we don't hear the director yelling. All right, what if we need to just stretch this clip a little bit more? For some reason, we don't want to pull this one all the way over there because maybe we have worked a whole lot to get everything timed right and we just need to cheat a little bit. Well, if on a Mac here, I'm holding the Option tool and scrolling through the available tools on this third slot down. One of them is the Rate Stretch tool. It's kind of hard to say, but it's basically a little cheater tool. And if you grab a bumper, grab the end of your clip, you could pull it and just fill in that little gap. It's good for little gaps, and it doesn't it tries to not change the speed or tempo of your clip very much. It tries to be seamless on there. So it's not good for adding slow motion effects. All right. All right, so let's go back to our pointer tool. We'll get that action out of the way again. All right, and we want to make part of this clip slow motion. All right, so maybe right here, or right here, we want it slow motion, and we want to keep him running. Okay. So let's find the part of the clip where we're starting the slow motion. We want that jump to be slow motion. Right there, right before he takes some air and grabs the wall. So what I'm going to do is go to Effects, and you can see right here I was already playing with this. This is called time remapping. And what we have here are keyframes. We're going to be using keyframes for all kinds of things and moving our image around and using Ken Burns later, using special effects like opacity. But right now we're concerned with the time remapping. So we're going to drop a keyframe, and this basically is just saying from this point up until this point here, drop another keyframe. We want to slow that down. So I'm going to grab the line here and just bring that down from 100% to 30%. And if you notice down here, undo that. If you notice down here, the sound didn't get pulled to be longer with the slow motion because you don't want to you don't want to stretch the sound out like that. Well, maybe you do, but you would, people's voices would get weird and all that. And I can see right here, this spike right here is the director calling cut. So let me undo that. Oh, let me redo that. Edit, redo. There we go. Let's just watch it before we adjust the sound. All right, we slowed him down. And we hear the cut, which we don't want. And then he keeps on running with no sound. So how am I going to fix that? First, I'm going to unlink the selection here so the sound and the video are no longer tied together. Oh, yes, they are. Why did that? All right, now it's not tied. And I'm going to go back to that clip. This one right here that we're playing with. I double click on it, it pops up over here. And I just want the audio for it. So I'm going to grab the waveform right here, and it says drag audio only. Pull that down here. Here's the director yelling cut, and then it gets tied to the end of that. And I'm going to pull this to right there. And I've already forgotten if that's the director yelling cut over here, so I'm going to let it play. Nope. All right, since it's just background noise, it's not it's not synced to someone's voice. You're not looking at someone's mouth while they're not saying the same thing. So if the sound's a little out of sync there, it's fine. It's just city noise, it's background noise, it's footsteps on the concrete and ice there. And it actually syncs up pretty good. So let's take a look at that slow motion one more time. All right, let me, once again, I can go back to that time remapping by clicking on Effects Controls. And let's click on video over here. I clicked the audio, so it will show me just the audio effects. Let's link stuff back up again. I don't like that not being selected. It'll mess me up later. So you can tell right here, it was very easy. All I did was drag this right here down. And by moving these keyframes, I could adjust when the slow motion starts and ends. I don't want to mess with that right now. So we don't want to hit that. So once again, I was in Effects Controls, or the Effects workspace, Effects Controls, Time Remapping. I used this little diamond icon right here to drop keyframes at the beginning and the end of where I wanted to put the slow motion effect, and I dropped it down. If you shoot at 60 frames a second or 120 frames a second, it becomes a lot easier and the slow motion looks a lot smoother. So that's just something to consider. For our hype videos, I don't think slowing down your video from 30 frames a second to 15 is going to affect the quality a whole lot. So I wouldn't recommend doing much more than like 30-40% on that. But you should play around with it, see what works for you. Like anything in Premiere, it's kind of like cooking. Everything is to taste. It's like what works with one video might not work with another. You always have to be creative and adjust what you're doing to the project that you're working with. Thanks a lot, and hope this helps you with your assignment today. Okay, we're back here learning how to do slow motion in Premiere Pro. We learned how to use the keyframes, which is my preferred way of doing slow motion. And now this is a different way. So we have a different scene from this same handout videos from this action sequence here. So this is a rough. We have our masked guy running with a bag. Okay, it looks like a reshoot of the same action sequence we saw earlier. And again, I want to slow down that part right there. So I'm going to grab my slider down here to stretch this out. And this isn't actually doing anything to the clip. Oh, another thing, I double clicked here to actually see the video a little bit better. So this doesn't, see, this is still 14 seconds right there. If I squeeze it all the way down right there, at the end of it is still a 17-second video. All it does is just zoom in so we can work with it. So what I'm going to do, so I'm going to bring us up to the spot where he gets to the car. Right before our guy here, it's right there. I'm going to make a cut with the razor tool. Then I'm going to bring us to the other side of the car right there. See how quick he did that? Let's slow that down. All right, let's just see how it goes right now. Okay, let's slow that one piece down. So I'm going to go back to the pointer tool, bring that out, go over here, and I'm going to click on this video. Go to clip. Oh, let me get my playhead back on the video. I want to just go to clip, speed duration, which is also command on a Mac, command R, probably control R on a PC. Change this down to 30%. So what that's going to do is it's going to make it much bigger over here. And time interpolation, I'm going to change to optical flow. Okay. I'm going to undo this, Control Z. And I'm going to pull the clip over here way far so that it doesn't get affected by my clip. And then I'm going to redo the same thing. Speed duration, or quick key with the R, 30%. So can adjust it with a slider here as well. So what's the 100%? Is 1 second, 1.12 seconds, and at 30%, it's 5 seconds long. Optical flow. Okay, there we go. That stretched it out to 5 seconds. One thing I'm going to do here is have that selected. I'm going to render selection. What this does is it applies that that effect to it, so we can actually see it when we play it back here, instead of waiting to do it when we export it. It takes some processing power to do this. The machines you guys have in the lab are pretty powerful, and it will do what it takes my MacBook to do, about a minute here. It'll do it in just a couple of seconds. All right, almost there. And listen to the volume, listen to the, oh, you can't. Okay, see what happened here. Okay, so you can't hear the effects with the screencast, but it stretched the sound out too. That's why I prefer the other method, but we could delete, unlink that selection there, delete the sound for it, bring the sound from this clip up, bring the sound from that clip down. And there you have it. It's a third way of changing the time in Premiere. Thanks for listening, guys.